Hi, welcome to Audrey's Southern Cooking. How are you? My name is Nita, and in today's video, we're going to start focusing on some fall foods. I'm so excited. So today we're going to do a autumn spice cake. And if you've ever had anything like a carrot cake, it's very similar tasting to that. And we're going to do some real cream cheese icing. Oh, this is going to be so good. And it's not real complicated. It does take a few little items. So let's move our camera down and see what we got to have today. All right, so here's what we got to have. Got to have a mixer and self-rising flour. So I have 2.5 cups of self-rising flour. Then we're going to have a little bit of vegetable oil. The complete recipe will be in the description, so you can see all of the measurements down there. I have unsweetened applesauce, vanilla flavoring. Thanks, Phyllis. We have some ginger and some cinnamon. Then we have ground nutmeg, allspice, and cloves. And then just a little bit of brown sugar. Oh, and also, I always forget something. I don't have any pecans, but I do have some walnuts, and what I've done is I put them in a Ziploc bag and I crush them so that there's pieces. Just a little bit where they're not too big when you bite into them. All right, now before we get started, we always gotta have our sweet tea, so get yours ready. All right. Let's get to mixing this cake up. All right, so I've gotten some things out of the way. Get my mixer where you can see. I've got my little sifter. I have 2.5 cups of flour, so I'm just gonna pour it in. You don't have to do this step if you don't want to. That's perfectly fine. I'm just gonna sift it real quick. It's gonna make it dusty. Okay, so while I'm sifting that, go ahead and get 2 9-inch pans and go ahead and make sure those are greased up and ready for your pie, and turn your oven on at 350. Let me sift this and I'll come right back. So what we're gonna do next is take our cinnamon, and that's 2.5 tablespoons of cinnamon. And you know me, it's not going to be perfect by any means. That's 2. Let's do a half. And this is just more of a guesstimate. All right. So that's our cinnamon. All right, and then we're going to have 1 teaspoon of ground ginger. And then we're going to have 1/2 teaspoon of the allspice. Oh, you know what I forgot? A teaspoon of the nutmeg first. Let's do that first. So a teaspoon of that. Then we're going to do the 1/2 teaspoon of the allspice. Oh, this just smells so good. This is going to be so good, y'all. It's gonna be a great something for y'all to do this fall. You can do it for Thanksgiving. So there's my allspice. This is gonna be wonderful. Oh, I can't wait. All right, and then we have 1/4 of the cloves. Little 1/4 of cloves, there we go. All right. I'm gonna move these over. We're done with those. All right, so what I'm gonna do is put my little flat beater on. Just turn it on like a 1 or something and just kind of mix it just for a second here. Then we're gonna do, let's do the brown sugar first. Let me get my pans out of the way here. All right. 1 1/3 1/3. What do I have in here? I have a 1/2 cup. So scoop that off. That's gonna be a 1/2. And then we're just gonna fill it about halfway to give me my 1/4. All right, we're done with the brown sugar. Now what I'm gonna do is go ahead and turn this on and kind of let those lumps come out a little bit and let it mix in. And then we're gonna do 3/4 cup of, I'm using canola oil, but you can use vegetable oil. One 1/4 of a cup, so I'm gonna fill this 3 times. Oh, I forgot my 4 eggs. I forgot, I've got to get eggs out. I don't know what it is about these eggs, but I forget them every time. All right, that's 3/4. And get out of the way. Let me grab my eggs real quick. All right, got my eggs, and another thing I forgot to set out, buttermilk. Always forgetting something. We're adding it. Okay, that's the 4 eggs. And then we're gonna have to add our applesauce. And I just got these small packs because I thought that would be handy just to have so I can eat some. And these are 4 ounces. So I need 3/4 of a cup. So I have to have one of these and then another piece of one. But I think what I'm gonna do is probably go ahead and just add 2 whole ones in there. That's really just gonna help make moisture. All right, 2 teaspoons of vanilla. We're using this brand. My sister got me some. I appreciate that. Told y'all she's always trying to help me because she knows I need some help. So we're adding 2 teaspoons of this. I'm gonna turn it up just a second here. All right, then we're gonna have a cup of buttermilk. Buttermilk. My parents used to love to drink buttermilk with cornbread. That's what they would do sometimes at night, would fix them a glass of buttermilk and put some cornbread in there and just let it soak, and that's what they would eat. And the last thing for our cake, and I've already measured this when I put it in here, but it's gonna be 1 cup. Supposed to be pecans, but if you don't like pecans, you wanna do Walmart, if you wanna do walnuts, you can do that. I happen to have walnuts, and that's what I'm using. If anybody close to me wants to get me some pecans, and I will be more than happy to make some pecan item. There's a 1/2 cup. Now, I've already had my stove heating up to 350 like I was saying earlier. We'll turn this up a minute. Make sure everything's mixed in. Turn that off. Making sure I got the bottom good. Sometimes that flour sticks to the bottom. And I see that brown sugar sticking to the bottom a little bit. So I'm gonna mix it just a few minutes more, and when I come back, we'll be ready to pour it in the pans. All right, welcome back. I've got my pans ready. I kind of cleaned up a little bit, get rid of some of that, all my empty stuff that I had on the table. I have a third pan here just in case I need it, and I have my spray. I'm just spraying it with Pam over here on the side. So we're just gonna pour them in
to the halfway. If I need a third pan, then we'll use it. I just need that. Let's see.
All right, so what I'm gonna do is spray this pan real quick because there's two pans. I'm gonna go over here by the stick because I believe that these are actually a little smaller than 8. I think they're like I think they're like 8.5 to the 9s. So it's fine. I'll make a 2.5 layer cake because it's not enough to do, I don't think, a whole layer. But that's fine with me. All right. Now we're fixing to stick these in the oven, and they should cook around 25 to 35 minutes. And as usual, we're gonna do the toothpick test when they're ready. So let's move to the stove so you can see me put them in. All right, welcome to the stove. Let's get these cakes in. I'm gonna put my little piece of a layer in the back. Kind of in the middle in the back. And then what I'm gonna do is put one on each side here. All right, I'll see you in about 30 minutes. There's Izzy. All right, sugar on my cake. Let me get me another little pot holder. Get that. Toothpick. And it came out clean. It's ready. All right, here's my cakes. This is the thinner one, so that will go, I'll probably do that at the top. Maybe I'll do it in the middle, that'll be kind of interesting. And again, toothpick, comes out clean. We're doing this one, and it comes out clean. All right, so I'm gonna let these cool for a little while, and then we will get started on our cream cheese icing. So I'll see you in just a little bit. Welcome back. All right, so my cake is cooled down. Look at that, that looks so good. So we are fixing to ice it. So let me show you what I've done. Let me move my camera. All right, so what I've done is I cut the top a little bit. I'm not a very straight cutter, but I cut the top a little bit so it'll be a little flatter. And that's what I'm gonna do with this one once I put it on top of here. And this one's really thin, we're just gonna stick it on top. I have my powdered sugar and my cream cheese and vanilla. So we're fixing to put it in the mixer and make our icing. So let me move some things around and we'll be right back. All right. So what I'm gonna do, I have 3.5 cups of powdered sugar. But before we get to that part, let me butter. We're gonna take a whole stick of unsalted butter. I'm gonna put it in here. My flat beater again. Lock it down and go ahead, and I'm gonna smooth that out a little bit, and then I'm gonna put my powdered sugar in. Actually, my cream cheese. Philadelphia is what I've got. Philadelphia cream cheese. It calls for 12 ounces, so that's 1.5. All right.
Add this real quick. Since it calls for 12 ounces, I'm just going to use half of the other one. And I let these sit, and they are room temperature, so they are fairly soft, but they're not like complete room temperature.
All right, so they have little lines right here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And then the 8th one you can't really see. So I'm gonna cut it in half. Just gonna cut that right there. And I'll put it in a zippy bag or something and use it for something. All right, there's that in there. So I'm gonna mix the butter and the cream cheese. A half a teaspoon of vanilla. I'll go ahead and put that in. Turn that off. I just splattered butter and cream cheese on me. My little flat scraper. Scrape all this off here. Get it off the sides as best I can. All right. Mix that a little bit more. I'm gonna start adding my sugar. I'm just gonna add a little at a time. Because just like the flour, the sugar's gonna go everywhere.
Just so I get a little bit incorporated in there.
Look how pretty that looks. I'm going to scrape these sides and the bottom because I see powdered sugar down there. All right. There's a little powdered sugar still in this. I'm just gonna just mix it up with my little scraper here. Ooh, this is gonna be so good. Yeah, let's get where you can see this cake. All right, can you see it? Let's get out. All right, so what I have is a knife. What I'm gonna do is take my flat spatula. Now, if you want to invest in getting a icing spreader, that's totally up to you. I don't do enough cakes to invest in one. It's not expensive. I mean, they're like $5 or $6. Put some on. Use my knife. Now, what you could do is get a little glass of water and dip your knife in there, and that makes it like ice cream. When you do the scoop ice cream, it makes it smoother to scoop. And you can put this on as thick as you want. You're only supposed to have 2 layers, but I have a little 3rd layer, so I'm not going to put it as thick as I would normally probably put it on here. And you want enough to go around the sides. Now what you could do is if you had enough pecans or walnuts, you could put those on the side. Now I'm not a cake decorator, so this is not going to be perfect by any means, but it's sure going to taste good when we eat it. All right. So I'm going to put this little thin layer as my middle layer. Make it like a little sandwich. And I'm just going to continue on doing this, and when I get my top layer on, I'm going to show you how to flatten that out a little bit. So we'll be right back. Okay, so I put my third layer on. I've got all my icing on. Now if you want to make this flat at the top, like I did the bottom, just take your knife and you can adjust it to how you want. I'm not going to make it perfectly straight, but you just take your knife and just go through. If you really wanted it to be straight, what you could do is go right along this edge of this pan. I'm not going to do that. But this is so good, just like this. All right. So then we're just going to ice it. We're just going to finish icing it and put some on the side. I'm just going to put a pretty decent sized glob on here. And like I said, I'm not a cake decorator. So if you can decorate a cake, bravo, and you just go right on and do that. But if you're just doing this for your family or taking it somewhere, just do what you can. You don't have to be perfect. You're going to eat it anyway, is what my mother always said.
I'm really proud of it. My cake turned out pretty even. What I mean is that it didn't burn, it didn't stick. I know this cake pan is really more like a cupcake pan. It's big for that. But this is what I wanted to use. I'm going to have to use something different to get this in the refrigerator, because it's so hot here in Mississippi that it might get too hot and this icing may melt and it may also mold. So if y'all are watching and you work with me at work, then expect to get some cake.
All right, I'm going to continue on with the icing until it's all gone, and then we'll be back. All right, this is the best I can do with a cake. Like I said, I'm not a cake decorator. But you know what? It's gonna taste the same whether it's fancy decorated or not. So don't worry about it. It is what it is, and it's gonna be delicious. That's the main part. All right, let's cut this and see what it looks like. That little center piece that I put in there was thin. It's a little crunchy because I cooked it as long as I did the rest of the cake, which was my fault. But it's good. Look at that. Whoop. Look at that. Do the walnuts in there? Let's try it. All right. Look at how gorgeous. Let's take a bite and see. So let's move the camera up so you can see. All right. There we go. I'm gonna get a piece of this bottom that doesn't have a lot of icing on it first. It's gonna be so good, look. That's good. And then I'm gonna cut this off the top with all that icing on it. That icing's really good. It really didn't have a lot of sugar in it. It has 1 3/4, sorry, of brown sugar. You can also get this in a sugar substitute for the brown sugar as well, so you can use that. And then I use powdered sugar. I don't know about the powdered sugar. You can look and see if there's a sugar substitute for that. Or maybe you could find a different icing that you like better. But this, you want a bite? This is good. If you like the recipe, don't forget and go ahead and make that recipe and take it with you to a family reunion, or maybe you can take it to church on Sunday. They're gonna love this. They're gonna love it. It's delicious. And this is great for fall. It kind of makes me think of pumpkins and hot cocoa. It'd be so good with some hot cocoa. But right now it's too hot here in Mississippi to eat. It's still August, almost September. Just one more week and it'll be September, and then fall's coming. All right, if you like it, go ahead and hit that subscribe button and that notification bell so you get all the video notifications when they come out. And don't forget, if you'd like to help support my channel, there is also a link in the description down below, and I will try to add it maybe at the end of the video as well, for Venmo and PayPal. If you would like to help with supplies, that would be fabulous. That would help me a lot. All right, if you have any questions, if you want to make a comment, please do so in the bottom, and make sure you like the video as well so other people can see that, and maybe they'll like it too. All right, thank y'all so much for coming to Audrey's Southern Cooking. And don't forget your sweet tea. There's a recipe, I'll link it at the end of the video, for y'all to make your own sweet tea, and you bring that with you for your next video, so we'll all have sweet tea together. Have a great day.